I lost friends, I promise. Then I took off like comics. They can never handle this rocket shit. Out here ballin' like hard. Get your hands out of my pockets. I do not carry around no nonsense. I ain't got time for games. I'm side of my lane if you in the Baptist. Don't care what you feel like a socky masseuse. She said I'm leaving you, I just want party and booze. Now me and my wife make the music she party too. I filled up the void that they want to do. You ADD when they come to my name. I done came up, you ain't talking the same. I still got love for my homies that changed. I'm on a mission, so everything changed. Sorry if you wasn't ready for that. Told you that this was gonna happen way back. We lied. About my career. People is dying and we got the cure. We lied. I cannot work with a bunch of Pinocchios. Yep. Telling me what I should do. I'm gonna ride him out, man. I told y'all. I gotta know who he is, Elijah Robbins, man. Check him out, Instagram. I got the whole team. He ain't playing until he got the whole team, man. He got the whole team, man. He came out with that hit. Man. So I'm gonna rock that as much as I can, man. I was thinking about changing it to some Nipsey, but cause I'm moved by my man Nipsey Hussle for sure. Hey man, but welcome to On Your Highlight Podcast, man. I'm your host, Lamar McMorris, man. We're gonna get my co-host on here, man, so we can get her locked in and loaded. You get what I'm saying? Can y'all hear me? We got. Can she hear me? She on. Get on. What's up?
What's going on?
What's up? This the co-host right here, y'all. This is the new co-host, Keshia. We can call you a Keshia P. Keshia P. In. What we how do you want us to call you? Just this Keshia Partridge-Nelson? But you know, because you're gonna be famous on here, so they gonna want to.
It doesn't have to be so formal.
It
could just be Keshia. KP. Something like that.
Hey man, I'm on live, man. For those that's on IG right now looking at me, man, go check us out right now. We on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube right now as we speak, man. But thank y'all, man, for joining On Your Highlight Podcast. I'm your host, Lamar McMorris, and this is the co-host Keshia. This is our second episode, our second season. You know what I'm saying? So as our episodes, get up there, man, we wanna bring heat to y'all. We got a good show today, but we want to kind of go over some I call it ones and twos. You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to get our material out there to y'all. So as you see on the bottom of the screen, we are on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Please share with a friend. Go follow us. We want to build this thing up as much as we can because the goal is to get real life solutions out to the people. You know what I'm saying? Based on some of y'all concerns. Based on what y'all might be afraid to ask and bring forward to other people. You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to answer whatever questions that y'all may have. So y'all see that right there on the bottom of your screen. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Another thing that we want to talk about, and this is just straight up, we want to be able to take care of, this platform. There's a cost that comes with this platform, and I'm a understander of entrepreneurship, and I know I got to pay for something, and that, for me to keep bringing this heat, I want to make sure that we can at least, put some costs back for us giving y'all heat. Let's figure out a way to bring us some bread so we can. We might want to upgrade to another package. We might want to get another camera. We might want to get to a studio. Hey, we might want to get to a studio. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we got to keep bringing y'all heat. What I'm saying? New material, raw material. Because we evolving as people. So as we keep evolving, we two sharp hosts, man, that get it. And we kind of tired of giving y'all this game for free 99. So look out like you supposed to. So you see it right there. Universe deal. What I'm saying? That's just the Cash App. So hit that if you feel the need to. We always want to get that out there. Branding and marketing. We big on that. We big on promoting our athletes' name, image, and likeness. We're gonna talk a lot about that on this show, many different episodes because it's here. And at the end of the day, if you don't have somebody in your environment who understands what's going on, then it's gonna be tough for the people to get the gist of what's really going on. And if you don't understand what's going on, then your babies can be at risk of missing out on opportunities. So the goal is to get as many shorties NIL deals as possible. And as parents, coaches, and mentors, you got to be the main advocates. You got to be on the front line because no schools, no personnel of schools can be involved with NIL as it represents your shorty. You got to be the ones to be the owner of that. You got to be the CEO of that. You got to be the manager of that. You got to be the agent of that. You got to be the one that's bold, that's knowledgeable, do your due diligence. You got to be the one that has a full understanding of your product. Your shorty is your product. Believe it or not, you in the second grade and you playing on one of these youth teams, and it's only so many spots. And how it works is, you start a culture, and it's expected for you to have the same group of guys in next year. So now about time you in year 5, you don't realize you already invested $10,000. Already invested. You already done put in close to 5,000 hours of your time of your shorty getting better and playing with teams, really in the rat race. It's a rat race. It's a rat race to get to the promise. And that promise really is a free education, right? And so if you don't move about it in a strategic way, then you can really get caught up in the rat race, and it's going to be tough to go in your own lane, if that makes sense. So we want to be able to give as much knowledge to the people as we can so that, it's not about saving everybody. We know what's up when it comes to that, but we want to give those the opportunity to want to hear us speak about what we coming with. We want to give y'all opportunity to capitalize on that. So branding and marketing is very, very, very important. We want to, like, again, as we bring on people, if you have a product or service, that the people, you feel like the people can engage in, we want to definitely promote that and talk about that. So, nope, you can't call me right now. So there it is. So I wanted to get that out the way. I wanted to get all that information out the way. And yeah. So what we gonna do, we're gonna take a 1 minute break. We're gonna talk about some things, me and my co-host, and then we're gonna come back on. Sound good?
Sounds good.
That's what we gonna do then. See y'all in a hot second. Let's go back to this. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. We back, we back. Hey, Keys, can you hear me pretty good?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So
Yep.
hey, we back, we back. We want to kind of get into a topic, man. Just kind of right away. Just today's topic, we want to get loose, man, with community support. You know what I'm saying? What that looks like. And we have a special guest that kind of want to chime in on that topic as well, as he lead our young men in the community with TSA United Basketball Organization. They've been making noise in the city. So we want to bring him on, pick his brain, and see what he got to say. We're gonna bring him on later in the show, but um so to rewind, we want to talk about community support and what that looks like. So let me ask you, Keish, when I mention the word community support, from your perspective, like what does that look like? You know?
So when you first hear about it, you think about outside of your home. You think about the different organizations and what that looks like. But when I thought about it more today, I started to think about how does it look like? What does it look like for families? So
Mm,
in most cases, when we sign our kids up for sports, they're like super little and we're all excited, where everybody in the whole family is attending for your child.
right.
I mean, everybody's begging to attend when they're little, when they start off. But it just seems like as they get older, it's harder to get people to show up. It's harder to get family to come. It's like begging parents to, be a part of it. So I wonder what that is. Why does that start
Mm,
happening the older that they get, that you really can't get that support? Because that's
mm.
community support as well. Like within these organizations, if they need a family to help out with something, that's the support we need, and it starts at home.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely start at home. And one thing I notice in this environment and community that we're in, right? And I know it's kind of duplicated in other inner cities where, just keep it real. In order for you to get to the level where you want to go, you got to tap into the inner city ways of playing basketball, and that's nationwide. That's You have to. And if you're an organization that's fortunate enough to where you have all the resources and is ran at the head of the other um, uh, race background, other culture, you're going to have at least two or three minorities in your team, and they're probably going to be some pretty good ones at that, because the reality is, you know, the secret sauce is if you have three of those, right? Three of the athletes that's good, that's black, you know what I'm saying? And you put them on a team of, what I'm saying, of two, let's say Caucasian, the colonizer, whatever you want to call them. You know what I mean? Because it's not a racist, so by no means, because we want to get understanding now. But if you put three on the team, and let's say you have six more, and y'all practicing 2 hours a week, 4 times a week, that's 8 hours a week. That's 8 hours a week that you're getting a level of basketball just from those three black players. So at some point in time, again, if you put in a certain amount of hours of anything, you become a guru at it. So if you're doing that, if you're on a team like that starting in second grade, and then you're doing this all the way up until 12th grade, and then by the time you in the ninth grade, now you're on a team full of you got it's eight black kids on the team, and it's like two or three of the white kids, and the Caucasian kids. But now those Caucasian kids, they can play now. See, they done separated themselves because they done sped up with the talent. Because again, by then you already done put your 10 hours in, or what I'm saying, but maybe not 10,000, but you're getting there. You're getting to the point where you can duplicate your game and model your game after somebody else's. And then at that point, it's about what we can control, and that size and height. So now, if you're able to be trained from a speed development, from agility development, from strength development, and then the skill development with more of the skill players, the more black athletic players, you're going to become that. And there's a lot of organizations that figured out that formula. And when you have resources, like this is a big show of trying to bring resources because we lack that. But when you have those resources and you can identify that formula, you have an easy hook to get certain individuals to come play for your program. You have an easy hook. And this show, we want to break down those barriers, and we want to, equal the playing field. We want to be able to have some of those same resources in this environment too, so that we're not left out, because we have people on the front line coaching and mentoring and doing all that, just like other programs in fortunate environments. So you're 100% right on that. And um, I want to get into, this article that I came across, because it's one thing of community support, and it's another thing of who in the community with the resources and with the power, so to say, who are those people, and
Right.
I pretty much have a little understanding of what, who those people are. And, I feel like uh, the goal is, Keith, is not to, we want to show love, is love and respect, you know. And I feel like as a people, the healing comes from where we can identify something, to make the greater good of people better. So I identify
Right.
something in this report that, this organization, they put out these reports. I understand that statistics is what drives and bring money in, and so they do a damn good job at that. They do a damn good job at serving the community, no doubt. But it's a key piece missing in their transformation piece as it relates to, the community and how they want to see the community transform. And so I definitely want to talk about that. What I'm going to do is bring up that article. We're going to briefly look at that article, and then we're going to kind of, chop it up on that. I kind of want to see what your thoughts is on that, Keish. And let the people
Okay.
kind of hear you out on that. So let me go ahead and bring up that article. Hey, if you're on IG right now, you gotta go. You gotta go right now. Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook right now. I got 2,000 followers on Facebook, man. I told you I need 50% of y'all to be followers of this podcast, man, or I'm gonna have to cut a lot of people short, man, because if I got 2,000 followers, either y'all like trying to be nosy, or y'all for real, really like y'all trying to tap in and trying to build what I got going on. Like I'm serious. You get what I'm saying? Like if
That
you
goes
my
along with our
friend,
topic of community support. Where
yeah,
y'all
yeah,
at?
where y'all at? 2,000? Come on, man, for real. So let me go. Let's get into this article here. Here we go. You see that, Keys?
I don't see it
Keys,
yet.
what
No, I
about
don't
now?
see it yet. Nope.
Hmm. Okay, hold on.
There we go.
About okay, see that? All
Yep.
right. So the people can see the same thing, you know, and this North Omaha, like this is like a plan that they see by time 2025 get come here, the things that's in this plan here, a lot of the things they want to see come to fruition, right? So you have from youth development, you got like entertainment, and some of these sponsors up here, these are some of the organizations throughout our environment, our community, and all of these sponsors, they support this business. So right there we see a lot of partnership and collaboration. That's community support. That's perfect, but I want to get into the nitty gritty of this, so this is by the Empowerment Network. I want to give them credit again. It's all love, but at the same time, we're people, right? We want to bring solutions to whatever problems or issues that we see as a people. So I'm trying to bring enlightenment as I go through this and process this, and we want to do this as a people. So let me get to this section here. Let's see. Hold on just a second.
This is a lot of information.
You see it? Is it still on there?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right, good. Okay, so you can see it as I see it. Okay. So as you can tell, uh as I scroll down here, these are just some plans as they see they want to focus on by 2025. Okay, so as you can see right here, you want to focus on the employment. You got education and youth development, right? So those are just some areas that you would think about seeing in youth sports. But let me get to let's see here. It was let me see. There was a part where okay. So this section here, so this is just a collective strategy, right? So again, this is this organization um, of how they see North Omaha being revitalized, and how the community is going to evolve, and they base it off of entrepreneurship, right? You see it contracting and business districts. You know what I'm saying? So we see what that looks like. Basically, new businesses arriving, small businesses. So them partnering and contracting with them of some kind. Basically want to do it. They want to do that with minority businesses, black-owned organizations, and so forth. Right? You see employment and jobs, right? Creating jobs. Good. So you look at education and youth development, right? We talk about improved educational incomes, right? So this piece right here, you talk about early childhood education. You can talk about families. Okay, we talk about schools, um, more schools, so more learning, right? But one thing I noticed in this whole report, as they are trying to outline some solutions to some problems in the community, they don't say anything about youth sports. Even right here, you talk about safety and violence, they have a plan for that, right? So to me, it seems like they have a plan, um, a well-designed plan for those individuals that's, you know, that have some time and experience in the universe. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you got a little bit of things for those, you know what I mean, fourth grade and under, right? But it's more geared towards middle school, high school, and then adult life and so forth. But I'm the type of person of there's got to be a foundation level that needs to be focused on. There's got to be a foundation level that needs to be focused on. And for you not to say anything about youth sports, majority of these people that's representing this organization, they have probably played a sport of some kind. I don't know everybody, of course, but a lot of people who run a lot of these businesses at one point in time they played a sport, and it probably started when they was young. They had a foundation, and in that foundation of youth sports, there's certain qualities and such that teach you how to better serve the community. What that looked like, how to be respectful, and so forth. And so it just kind of struck me that in this plan here, there's nothing on here about youth sports and what it's like to support the programs, that have youth sports. They just got an $800,000 grant. They get it. I think it's every year, 400,000 every for the next 2 years. Obama done, blessed them with that opportunity. So they are very, very uh, represented, representable. People know who they are. They definitely are getting the financial resources to support what they're doing. And I just feel like there's opportunity for collaboration because they're lacking that piece. Majority of the youth, they're going to play a youth sport that's in this community, that's in this environment, in my opinion. And so
Yeah.
I feel like um, I think we missing the ball if we don't chime in or tap into those who have the resources, and they're missing that piece. Now, I want to go ahead and let you take a dive at that one. If you want to bring the article back up, I will. But I know we didn't go through the whole article, but I just kind of wanted to point out some things as I had read that. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think that we don't have the blueprint for sports. And you said that there's probably a lot of people from that organization that played, but I don't know if they played um seriously, to the point where it's in the forefront of their, thoughts, or that they're
Mm-hmm.
thinking about it. You know, it's something that I think is being left out, that's extremely important, that takes so much of our family's time. It could be
Mm,
included in the portion about families. It could be included in the part about health, but I don't see it anywhere included in that report. And
mm,
it takes so much of our time, our energy. And another piece, I don't think we think about it that much, is because we don't have our own, a lot of the times, like these tournaments and practices and things like that, a lot of it isn't within our community.
right, right,
So much of our time is outside of our community. So a lot of times people outside of sports really don't know what's going on and what we're doing, and what it looks like and what it entails also. So that's another, key piece. I think that we just have to use this as an opportunity to educate and really create that blueprint, and
yeah,
come together and meet with somebody from the empowerment network, and see how do we include this and what it would look like.
yeah, right. Because you got to think like I see a lot of what they have that supports the school system because that I'm gonna just be honest, it looks good. And when you support a school system, especially the public school system, and you have a foundation of things and resources that they have, like they have in that report, is very detailed, did a very good job. So to those who support the public school system, make the decisions, they're going to automatically trust that they're going to work. That's the I think that's the bigger problem to this, in my opinion, because they are not the only organization that have all the solutions. But when you're put a lot of trust and money and resource into that only organization, you kind of outcasting the ones that's kind of really on the front line when these shorties is babies. You know what I'm saying? At 2 years old, 3 years old. Like some of these organizations is they're getting these shorties at a very, very young age. I got
Right.
somebody saying they can barely hear me. Let me see something. Oh, that should work better now. That should work better. Uh, yeah, but we getting these shorties. We getting these shorties. I got people that's getting these shorties at a very young age, and that take a lot of work. That take a lot of hard work. It's not easy when you sacrificing. And I got no coaches that sacrificing like tough right now. And so it's like
And it
if
goes
we
hand
don't
in
talk,
hand with that
yeah,
development piece too. So they have a lot
right,
in there about education, but like you said, there's a lot of coaches that are really a part of that development of those young
yeah,
kids.
yeah, yeah. And and again, I'm not, you know, let me type in this real- say that the volume ain't right. But we're not trying to hate on or nobody organization. Again, we're trying to bring enlightenment the way that we see it because we on the front lines. And to be honest, we're producing products, year in and year out, and so it's not just that we're identifying an organization. Like Keisha said, we want to be able to find opportunities to collab, partner, or what have you. Because again, if you talk about transformation, you got to be able to relate in order to transform. It's just that simple. And when it comes to youth sports is becoming $1 billion industry, $1 billion. And if you were of the minority in the inner city, you can really drive up your economic base if you have the right plan. These facilities is generating thousands of dollars on a weekly basis. But you got a lot of plans in this report, right? A lot of plans of how to bring economic growth. That's transformation, revitalization. Well, I have a plan that's going to bring all of that with economical growth. There's not too many plans that can bring economical growth. It's economical growth. It's a simple plan. It's a simple plan. Do pay somebody else's plan. I'm gonna lay out the whole plan. Like I said, I gotta get more followers first. Gotta get more followers first. So yeah, we wanted to take a look at that article. Just wanted to take a, just kind of chime in on that. I do got some people in the comment sections that commented, JB, what's cracking, man? I'm gonna get to all the people comments, man, later on in the show, because I want to let our guests get on here, and we might have some questions for our guests too. So I want to be able to get him on here first, which he's going to be coming up next. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna take another minute break, and we're gonna bring our special guest on, man, and we're gonna pick his brain, man. He's gonna enlighten us, man. Cool brother. He giving back to our shorties, man. And so yeah. Once y'all come back, man, and rock with us in a minute here. All right. Peace.
I cannot roll with a bunch of Pinocchios. Telling me what I should do with a big ol' nose. But everything lost, I got it back. I boomerang on you suckers like that. Everything that I gave up and I still got the horse shot. I got the horse. Got him in behind. I'm rolling it on. I got the horse. I got the horse. I got the horse. Got him in behind. I'm rolling it on.
Come on, hurry up. Yeah. We back, man. I want to go ahead and show this real quick before I bring this brother back on, man. I mean, before you introduce this brother, so yeah, yeah, man. I gotta try to get some clips, man, so we can talk on that, man. So without further ado, man, we're gonna bring my boy on here. We got Brandon McGary right here. Hey, what's up with you, my boy?
What's going on with
Hey,
you, sir?
Brandon.
Hey,
How you
Keish, what's
doing?
going on?
Hey,
Nice.
so that first thing we seen that video. What we have here that day on that video with that video I
All
just
in
showed
that
you?
video,
Yeah,
man, just basically trying to get the basketball culture back down to the north side. It's non-existent as we know it. You can
yeah,
go to the Florence Community Center, Adams Community Center, even Columbus Park Community Center, and it's empty. The Salvation Army was empty for like 2 months when I got down there. So that's all that was, is just to get all the kids, all the athletes, no matter what program that you are affiliated with, get them in the gym to get them to start playing with each other, because we're not getting any better by not playing with each other. So that was my goal. That was that video was, and it was a great success. I want to keep
mm,
doing that uh, after the summer ball's over with, so these kids can start getting along and wanting to play with each other more, instead of want to be divided and want to go to the west side and play with, you already know what I'm trying to get to. But
yeah.
that's basically what that,
We,
that
we,
video
hey,
was about.
we can talk about that. We can
Yes,
talk
sir.
about that because the people, I know where you're getting to, but I think the people that we're trying to reach, they don't know. So we know, like, you only know what you know. Cause we coming out of love, but we feel like we gotta know, like people gotta know. It don't matter what color you are, we gotta know. So you can speak it how you feel it, Brody. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. So yeah, no doubt. I didn't mean to cut you off though.
Yeah, if you want to put it that way, I definitely think that us as athletes, your generation, my generation, and the future generations, we are definitely more gifted, talented, and we're not getting any better by just playing against West Omaha kids. We need to play against each other. We can push each other to get better instead of going out there and playing against mediocre talent. And then they want to slide us out of town and play against talent in KC or Chicago, and we wonder why we can't compete at a high level because we're not competing against each other. So that's what that video was about. Just trying to get everybody on the same page as far as there's nothing wrong with calling your homeboy or your homegirl. You know, we got a lot of female hoopers out here, and let's get in the gym and play like how we used to do back when we used to play. So it's very non-existent. And I feel like it's a must that we get back to that. Because it ain't helping out just going out on the west side and just playing against mediocre talent. And we know we're better than them. They need us more than we need them. So at the end of the day, if we can unify and get the talent back down to the north side, it's better for everybody, you know, because if we send one or two of our own on a team and it's more of them than us, yeah, we're helping them out because we're going to get all the recognition. But you're giving the others their recognition also, where you got everybody at home that you should be playing with getting that recognition as well. So that's basically what that is, you know. Hopefully people catch on to that and see that and stop, you know what I mean, thinking about themselves, you know what I mean. And it's not about the parent. It's not about the politics. It's what's right for these kids, you know. So that's the first step. Hopefully we can build off that. I don't know. What did you catch off of that video? Did you see the same thing off of that? Because it was a lot of kids in the metro that was playing down there this weekend from every high school. So that was a plus. Definitely enjoyed it.
We got Brandon McGary, man, here. You know, he is I wanted to give you a formal introduction. You know, that's cool. You know, he coached TSA United, right? Youth basketball organization. He got experience at the high school level as well. Coach on some championship teams, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So he have the experience of developing athletes at the foundation level, and then coaching them up at the high school level to get them the opportunity to utilize their skill at the college level. So we always want to bring people on here that been through it, that experienced it, because at the end of the day, you can't speak to the problem and bring a solution if you can't identify it. If you can't identify the problem based on experience, you know what I'm saying? You can't bring no solution to it. You can't even formulate the solution. And so this brother right here, he's passionate about what he do. And, you know, I wanted to, you know, now bring a comment to, you know, what you was talking about. And when you say, you know, the teams out west, we're talking about those fortunate Caucasian and the white programs, you know, the programs that have the resources. And, you know, because at one point in time when we was the same age as the shorties that we're developing and coaching, the leagues was in our environment. The leagues it was all minority and kids from the neighborhood on the teams. And we had the teams out west, they was coming to be spectators, wishing they could be in our leagues. And then we eventually let teams in our league. And then they, you know, those teams, they observed and they soaked up a lot of what we brought. They got their people together and they just basically did what we capable of doing, but they understand that we can't come to a means of understanding as one people. They understand our culture. It was taught to us in our schools. You know, so we're gonna get heavy. So it goes to our school. They know that our culture, it's tough for us to bring like minds together, right? Even though we have the best product. They know we have the best product. But what they did, they came together and they feel the void of what we don't have. And that's what get our kids. Are you gonna give me a fresh pair of Nike socks just to come play on your team? Bet, I'm coming. It's little stuff like that. Look, that's their model, that's their formula. But guess what? We can come up with a formula too, because The times and the eras have just changed. It changed. So it's not so much, of identifying like just the problem. Like it's more so now, like you said, we can collaborate with y'all with understanding. Like we need some of these things that y'all have in our environment really to keep building and pumping y'all brand out here. Because like I told Keshia and I tell people like this all the time, all it takes is just some like-minded people with a financial bag, with a nice financial bag to come in North Omaha, identify the product that's supporting this billion-dollar youth industry from football, baseball, soccer, and basketball, and invest. That's it. That's it. The product is born every year. So all we got to do is bring the plans, the blueprints to the people who have the resources. Now it's just a question of the people who got the resources, do they want to mess with us? That's what I think we got to call out. Keith, what you thinking? Or go ahead, B.
Yeah, I feel like if we forced the issue, they wouldn't have no choice. Like I was saying,
How can we do that? How can we do that?
Well, we come together as a one and not think about the financial gain possibly, because that's a lot of people think about. They're in it for the money. You know what I mean? How much money they can make off of this kid or how many kids, and that's holding us back. You know what I mean? Right now, we cannot think about the financial gain. Financial gain obviously will be there, but it takes us being united to force the issue. Those tournaments out at the UBTs or at the Bellevue League Center, they're nothing with our programs on the north side. That's why they will let a numerous amount of teams in their tournaments for free, just because they know that would draw the other teams. So if we collectively create our own, that will force the issue on them to have to work with us, like you were saying, on the business side.
Absolutely.
Right now, we just don't have any kind of like-minded people running these programs. You know what I mean? And I will be the first. You know what I mean? I know it's other guys out here that are running programs that would have no problem meeting up with all the head program directors and coming up with a solution. Because going out to UBT, paying large amounts of money for teams to get in there, charging parents every time they go out there to get in their game, along with children. Concession stands are overcharging. Then they have us working the tables as they charge us. Like, how would you, being a parent, you spend $60 for you and your wife and your children to go watch your son play, and then the coach of your team turns around and asks you to go run the score clock? That's kind of bad business, And how I feel kind of funny asking a parent that just spent $100 getting his whole family into a game to go work also, So they're definitely manipulating the system, and not to blow anybody out of water, but we just played over at an AAF tournament. I told you I just came from a game, coaching a game this weekend or this day, and we won the tournament, and we had 4 teams in there. Pretty sure about $200 a piece. They charged admission, concessions, whatever they charged. And at the end of the day, we won the whole thing, and this is what they gave us.
Wow.
This is what they gave us.
To put that on your backpack, huh?
Put it on our backpack. That's what you did for winning a tournament with UBT, OSA, you name it, whatever, whoever's controlling the narrative. This is what we get. So sooner or later, we gotta be like, enough is enough.
Exactly.
No matter how much money we may lose, You're losing more money by giving them thousands of dollars every season,
Yeah.
and they giving us this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
That
Yeah, if
that
you go to
don't that
other
don't
cities, your team's getting 1,000 for winning.
for
You
winning,
know,
correct.
1,000, 2,000 for your organization. Like you're getting money for winning.
Right. So while we worrying about the peanuts, getting the peanuts and the scraps off our own, they're collecting millions a year, guaranteed. So
yeah. And so so we identify, right? We just identify some problems, right? So we gotta at the same time is like, okay, so what's the solution? So I understand like we gotta unite. And I heard you say something about it's not too much about the money, but it is about the money. And this is just my opinion about the money, because what tends to happen is until we get our own facility, our own land, where it's ran by somebody that look like one of us. Follow me here, okay?
yeah,
You got to look like one of us. You got to be able to relate to our kids, right? To where it might be a situation with one of our kids at 10 o'clock at night, and they need to come knock on the door, and the door need to open. The only way that happens is if one of us have the keys to our facility and can open that door so that kid can vent. We don't have that. There's not an organization or business that's in our community that we serving. So what I mean by community support, I mean about money. We got to be on a mission to find that land and be able to provide that so that we don't have no setbacks. Like we have a ceiling of which we can create this plan for these shorties. It's a ceiling because of the partnerships that we so graciously have. You know, whoever we in partnership with, the letters use our gym and so forth. But there's a cap. You gotta close your doors at 9, or you gotta close your doors at 10, or you can't do this, or you can't hold this community event, or you can't do this outside, or you gotta have this security to do this. So when you start having other people direct your vision on how you want to transform your community, we're missing a ball game. It's still spinning. We still on this fair spinning wheel. You know, we still on this wheel. So what I mean by transformation, I think that we got to bring together. We bring whatever it is, presentation. It could be a business plan or whatever. Because we always would have to come to a business sense on what they would like to see, right? They want to see us on our business plan, okay, right? But we go after dollars that's led by our own people. We can drive those dollars, and it don't have to just be local dollars. Like we are creative. We're innovators. We could tell a story. It could reach somebody in Chicago. It could reach somebody in Miami. It could reach another organization that's linked to an NBA player or whatever. And you know the way NIL and all of this work, you know, there's opportunity there. So it's not about um, you know, because the nonprofit stuff is one piece, but it's another thing when it comes to holding our parents accountable to have to pay fees to play on these teams. We got to be able to have money already set aside somewhere where we can tap in it, you know, anytime that we want to, if that makes sense.
it definitely does. That's a complicated issue. Just
Yeah.
because the society we live in is ruled by, you know, those guys, those people, the white folks, the Caucasians. So they're going to limit our access to those types of amenities that we need to pull those strings to get that done.
We start small.
We gotta
small.
smart small. We gotta
Yeah,
smart
we start
small.
small. Yeah.
And I definitely
We got to
feel like,
identify people in our communities too, like that can help with funding. Like that's their area of expertise. Like we all have our areas, and I think that we're like all overstepping like our boundaries. You know, sometimes coaches, they'll see parents that are trying to coach on the bench or, you know, overstepping,
right,
you know, those boundaries. Or you'll see coaches like that are struggling to get payment from parents or to, you know, to cover certain fees that might not be their area when they need to, they want to focus on coaching and training, but they have to worry about all these other things. So we just have to have the right people at the table and stop trying to do everything ourselves.
Correct.
Because it could come down to like an ego thing as well.
Correct. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Just to piggyback off of that, when you said start small, I feel like me, myself, I'm in the best position, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything like that, but I pretty much don't have nobody to answer to. I pretty much run my own show. Financially, I'm financially backed 100% with no limitations. Currently, right now, going up in October, we're getting a brand new facility built. On top of that, renovating our old facility. So even though we may start small, but it's somewhere to start to where we can start our own thing. And when we get our own building, land, project, development put together, we most definitely could move our program, our league, tournament, whatever it is, into our own. But until then, we got to kind of take what we're given, because if we keep sitting back and waiting for stuff to happen, it's never going to happen. Because I know the Chem League has been down and out for, probably almost, what would you say, maybe 10, 11, 12 years at the most.
Yeah.
And it's an ongoing problem, definitely. It's to the point to where, I don't know about you, Lamar, but I never paid a fee or dime to play ball. My mom, dad never had to kick out nobody, no money, and now that all these teams got to go out to OSA, it's like $600 a pop for a team to play in there. So now that's forcing these programs to charge these kids to play just to enter into a league or a tournament. Where the Kellum League was nothing but about $150 to get in that thing. So it didn't require a Kenny O'Neal or a Lon or a Mitch or whoever that was out here with their programs to charge these shorties astronomical amounts of money just to play. So now that's taken away for the underprivileged kids who may have not a father in the house or just a single parent mom, or even the parents may be still together. They just can't do it, So
right.
It's so many, and that starts to be a problem, because us that run these programs, we want to make sure everybody is able to play, especially if you got some talent. So if you got 10 kids that can't fork up $500-$600, but you're steady putting your teams in these programs, you're going to go bankrupt at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're going to. You're definitely going to. And it's
that's why we need to do something before everybody goes bankrupt. Because that's what they want. They want everybody to go bankrupt so we can run to their programs and give all our shorties to them. So that's the identity marker. That's the makeup of this whole scheme of things. Yeah. If everybody hasn't seen it, you can see it if you can sit back and just watch the scheme.
Well, I just want to kind of speak to a personal experience, because so my boys, they was brought up with the Nebraska Warriors. Jimmy Smith created that organization. It was ran specifically for the environment of the kids of which it was serving, and it developed a reputation because of the formula of which was put on those athletes. And the teams that we was smacking, it didn't matter where we was at, we did what we had to do. So I was able to see that work, right? And so then when I started developing my shorties, it was like when you developing shorties and you see that growth, you start to realize that you have a formula that works. You don't of course, if you have some nice equipment and you have access to things, it'll be easier convenient wise. But when you figure that you got it, then it's kind of hard to go want to give your talent to those programs. It's hard to do that. So what our parents do is, and it ain't no knocking our parents because where we come from, you got to survive. Some parents got to work three jobs or whatever. So what our parents do is they want their shorties to be so successful, they're unconsciously not realizing what they're doing when they pass them to those organizations. Now there's some that do that, you know what I'm saying? The ones that do that, I'm gonna keep it honest, like myself. I developed the organization and the blueprint to give back to shorties. You know, like what you're doing, giving back. We do it our way, right? And I done seen how the community didn't support, but I kept pumping and pumping, right? At some point in time, you put so much on the line. You sacrifice so much, whether it's your family, whether it's you taking away from your own shorties and you don't realize it. You do that so long, right? To where at some point you got to sit back and say, well, I got to do this for a better, it's got to be a bigger purpose than that, right? So then you start to say, how can I make some money off of my passion? And what we're talking about, what we're talking about is it's okay to talk about how we can make some money off of our shorties, off of the talent. Now check this, because I always wanted to do this. We always had an issue with getting gyms. I done heard that from so many great organizations, right? But then we talk about these shorties don't even play at the parks no more like we used to. Like because along the way there was an education that was taught to them that you play on the playgrounds, it stunts your growth, it hurts your knees. That's not true. There is no science to that. No, you know. So for me, it's like there's low cost when you do it at the park. You think all you got to do is get a permit. See, these are things that I've done before to get permits at parks where we can do whatever we got to do. It's like above the rim. We can do what we got to do, and we can have a fundraiser, and we could do that 3 times a year, 3 times a summer. You know what I'm saying? That's because now what that's doing is it's showing people that we're raising our own money with what we got, with, like you said, with what we got. And we can definitely use the sound because now we're in an indoor facility to where we can keep it running however it needs to run it. So when you're saying that we use what we got, I think that if we can kind of tap into that, man, at least, you know, get all the teams playing and bring a different flavor, then now all of a sudden they gonna come down here and see that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Good heat. Bringing that heat.
Definitely got to control the
narrative. For sure, we got to.
Yeah.
We got to. So what? So what's next? So what's next for y'all? What's next?
That's basically the next step that I'm definitely tapping into is trying to create our own league for us. Highly competitive. Right now, I feel basketball is not at a competitive level. See, we just played 4 games in a row, and we won every game by 40 points. That's never. Yeah, this is 2 weeks in a row. You just seen us last week out of UBT, right?
Yeah,
we smacked everybody out there. Now we just smacked everybody 2 weeks in a row. So it's giving my shorties false expectations because now they think that they're just up here and they may be down here, you know. And we go to KC and then we get smacked and we wondering what's going on. Well, you're really not playing against nobody, you know what I mean? Because we're playing against watered down competition in West Omaha. Yeah. And I know a lot of people feel this way. So that's the next step. You know what I mean? My line has always been open to every program. And this is where we comes in with the talk we had yesterday about programs and the community unifying and having each other's back. I think I got in contact with every Black-owned run program in this city. Just to come down, just to get an expedition game. I either got no answer, ignored, or just we not interested. But then they go out to UBT and do it. So that's a sad story. We need to support our own peoples. You know what I mean? It was actually a free game, Let's show everybody else that we as our own people can get together and make this happen. You know what I mean? Shout out to Tyler Hall, he was the first one that took the challenge. And we came down there and brought his program, and we had a nice little turnout with an expedition game. And hopefully everybody else would just jump on board so we can get this thing rolling, so we can actually show them that we don't need you guys in a respectful way to develop our kids, because it's not working out there, man. It's not, and it's definitely showing in the Metro. I think this was the first year that state didn't have not one Metro team down here, boys and girls. And that's the reality check, something that needs to be done. And I honestly think it's because we're not competing against each other at a high level to prepare these kids for the high school stage. You know.
Well, can we chime in on that piece, because, and I understand we go over an hour, but this is a good fire. This is good heat. We're bringing some heat to the people. That's what we want to do. And let me chime in on that, because I'm one of those parents where, you know, once I got to the high school level for my son, it was a business decision. It was business. And, you know, when you at the youth level and you a coach, once your shorty get to 8th grade, you are limited to the direction of where they can go in high school. You are very limited. You are very limited. And so once you get to high school, you're playing with their careers, because the window ain't so wide. And where we go wrong at with our youth organizations is we don't have no resources for them, or no connections, no networks once they get after 8th grade. We don't have no college experience as far as connections with college coaches. There's no, so we feed them all of this information from 1st grade to 8th grade. We make them so special. We use them up, right? And then, you know, they this great talent that people know about going into high school. But now you amongst other people that's good. Now you in a new environment, you in a new culture, you in something. Now you got to go earn it. And I done seen so many shorties fall because they was unprepared, when those programs that had them for those 3-4 years, they were supposed to prepare them from a social standpoint, from other standpoints than just basketball. And I think the other culture, they recognize that, and they got us up on that because they know how to bring that piece too. They know how to make you feel special outside of just basketball. You see what I'm saying?
So,
Go ahead.
Let me chime in on that. I'm old school. You know, I played with your older brother Kenny. You know, shout out Kenny.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this summer I had a heated debate with a couple of parents, and they was asking me like, man, well, how you gonna do this thing down here? And then I was like, man, they was like, well, I would love to bring my son down here, but he plays for this team and that team. And I'm like, whoa. You know, that's the problem right there. It's too many kids playing for numerous of teams. So if you play for numerous of teams, what are you actually learning? You got one coach telling you to do this. He may have you playing point guard on this team. You go to this team, now you're playing small forward. So now your skills are being tampered with because you're not focusing on what you need to focus, you know? And I feel like that's an issue across the border, you know, and then that gives kids the upper hand where they don't really want to work hard because they know they can go to certain programs and get away with not putting in that work. And that goes into them not being ready for high school, because then you have 3 different coaches and they only with them part-time, you know, and you need a full-time.
So, you know, that's the parents, but that's the parents' fault. But see, that's where, because it's not the program that's stealing the kids, because at the same time, whatever program it is, they got a brand that they gotta keep holding up. So it's like you're going after the best product, and the parents gotta be like, no, we're keeping you where the getting is good. So there's a missing piece that we have with the parents. We don't have with the parents to educate the parents on that loyalty. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't want to put it all on parents, because there is some programs that are giving false dreams, you know.
Right.
And they will tell you Earth, Moon, and Stars is here with me, but when you get here, it's not really here, you know. Right. And that causes parents to go to the next best opportunity. So, you know, parents have to be real careful where they take their children to, because you don't want to get caught up in that type of situation where you done forked out almost $1,000 at a program and you're not happy, and then you're moving on. You know, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a problem with parents, programs, and the players as well. You know, a lot of these players are entitled just because they have talent. Coaches don't get on them like they should because they don't want them to leave them. You know what I mean? It's a lot of narratives, a lot of things that we can touch on that, but most definitely, I feel like that's hampering the development of the kids going to the next level, such as high school. High school's not even a level that's like bottom base level. Me and you got college, and college you got NAIA, D2, D1. So there's levels to this, you know.
Yeah.
So if they're not ready for the bottom base level of basketball, you know what I mean? Like you said, they can be in and out just like that before you know it.
Yeah.
You know? So
And that's the unfortunate part, man, is because that window closed, and when it closes, man, and this is where I see it at, because I've been seeing it the last 5 or 6 years, is up and close. It closes when you go up a grade, but you're not catching the height. You're still the same height as you was, and then that sport become real for you. Because if you don't have a supernatural type of skill, now you're becoming limited in numbers as your level go up. You become limited. You got to be able to have a skill that nobody else has.
correct.
And I think that's the realization when it comes to basketball, that we got to be honest with our athletes. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel you when you was talking about a kid playing point guard and a kid playing small forward. Because if you can't identify where you can be good at, where you can have a special skill that you can work on and master, it's gonna be tough for somebody to want to pay you for that and give you a scholarship. It's gonna be tough. You know, hey Keisha, what you thinking, Keisha? I know you over there quiet. We gotta include you before we bounce. You know what I'm saying?
No, I was listening to everything, and I think like the toughest part for my family is we know that we have the product. We know it for a fact. So we get pushed and pulled in a lot of different directions, and it's really tough and it's difficult to know, what's for us. But one thing that me and my husband like we stand on is that we're gonna support as many people as we possibly can. That might not mean that he's necessarily training with you. He might not necessarily be on your team. But if I know a kid that it would be a good fit, or if I can find resources to support what you have going on, that's what we're gonna do. That's just the type of people that we are. And I wish more people would get behind that. It goes along with our topic of city support. That's how you can support. It doesn't mean that your kid has to be on every single team, team hopping and jumping and this, and this, but how can you support? What does it look like for you? So that's what we try to do as much as possible. We train with a few different people. Right now he plays with 2 different teams. We're just trying to figure out how much we can sacrifice without tricking off our opportunities as well. But we've played with teams that were majority white in the past, and it just wasn't a good fit for us. It didn't work out. I know my son's worth and what he brings to a team, and there's just no way that how talented he is, that he should be coming off of the bench like he was. So those were conversations that I had. Instead of just leaving, we had those conversations for the kids that are going to be coming on that team as well. So we had those conversations like what's missing, and we didn't get the answers that we thought we were going to, so we had to leave. You can't play around with these kids' futures, especially when you're invested. When you're invested and you know your child's worth and you've been there from the beginning and watched it, nobody can play you.
Yes.
Nobody can play you.
And that's very valid. Your situation is totally different. But when you're just team hopping because your friend plays on this team and that friend plays on that team,
right?
That has to stop, and it's really going on right now. And people are being caught. These coaches, he putting coaches in a bad position. You know what I mean? They're counting on to have this kid this game, and he's not there because he might be playing with this other team. So, and it's not a good look for coach or players at the end of the day.
But I think, and this is like no knock on any program. I think it's got to be an identity. It's got to be an identity of a program. Like the program don't go as far as one player or two players or three players. The program go as far as development. Like we developing you. So if you want to leave this development, then peace. Because I can promise you, Brody, people are always going to want to go see what the grass is green on the other side. They always want to go see that, right?
Yep.
And then at some point in time, you're going to come, if it's organic, if it's good quality, they're going to find themselves coming back to where they got fed. And then it's going to be up to you to want to welcome that. And then really, that's going to be for you to tell them, you know what, that's your learning lesson. You know what I'm saying? That's a teaching moment for you. You know, you don't turn your back on the hands that feed you. That's what it is. That's what we got to do with these shorties, because like we talked about at the top of the broadcast, you know, these organizations, they fortunate with some of this money, they fortunate, but you can't speak to the transformation because you don't know the environment. You don't know what you're dealing with at the foundation level. You got a lot of programs for them when they get to middle school and then high school and then, you know, but what about the foundation level? That's where the $3 billion industry come in out of youth sports. So all we got to do is just wrap educations around youth sports. Then that's what make us the best educational system for shorties. Once we provide the other pieces around youth sports. So I'm definitely following what you got to say. We're gonna wrap this up in probably about 5 minutes, man. So I definitely want to let you kind of give your last spiel on what you're thinking, and then we're gonna go from there.
Yeah, I would say the biggest problem right now is all these programs were just pretty much divided with a lot of talent at each program. Each program has talent. I'm not going to deny that. But us being in the city that we is, the talent ratio compared to like a Chicago or KC, LA, New York, Dallas, you name it, it's just not the same. So Chicago, Dallas, LA, they can have 5, 6 programs because they have enough talent there to sustain them. But we don't have that here. So if you got 20 kids, or let me break it down, 10 kids, you got your 10 top 10 kids, and all 10 of them are spread out on 3 teams, it doesn't make sense. Especially trying to go out of town with 2 high-profile kids and everybody else is mediocre. You're not going to win a game.
But what age are you capturing though? Because
I'm talking about all ages, at every grade level.
Because if you start, if you get them at the root level, right? So if it's say third grade. Now I don't know if all these programs around the city start off at 3rd grade or 2nd grade, but if you're getting 10 to 20 kids in 3rd grade, we don't know how they're gonna pan out by the time they get to 5th, 7th, and 8th, right? But if you're giving them quality development, but if you're just trying to practice and put them on jerseys and playing games, now we're wasting time and we're wasting talent because we're not able to tap into their talent at a very young age. So if we could tap into their talent as early as 2nd and 3rd grade and develop them at that level, instead of pumping out 1 or 2 by trying to get to 6th grade, we're going to have 11. Right. Now we're talking because we got the population. We have the number of kids. We have, I know for a fact there's over 15,000 kids in OPS. In this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at some point in time, they're gonna be in 3rd grade. They're all in 3rd grade. You know what I mean? So I think I've always been an advocate for development at the root level. It's the development piece. Now we got some people, like Keshia said, that's special and good in their own lane. Some people good at coaching, X's and O's, barking at the shorties to motivate them. And then you got some people that's good at development. Some people can't do both. Because the development takes a certain patience. Because you got to look at every individual as a different species.
Correct.
And you can't, that's tough to do.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of organizations that's just focusing on the numbers. I want to have 100 kids. But how are you going to develop 100 kids if that's not your specialty? If you struggle at doing that with 1, if you don't have that experience, how are you going to do that with 100? You see what I'm saying? So
I
it's
agree.
yeah. So I think it's a foundation level that we got to hit for sure, for sure.
Mhm. I definitely agree with you, especially developmental. You know what I mean? That goes to the point of me saying that these parents that got shorties that they're trying to get them involved in sports at an early age. Just be careful where you bring your kid to. Make sure you bring to somebody that can develop them, teach them the
Yeah,
way to play the game the right way, develop their skills, and you should be okay. But there's also people out here that's just in there for the buck. You know, they grab any and everybody and don't plan on developing anything. So it's a cautious situation that you really gotta be careful what you're dealing with when it comes to your shorties and the money that you're spending and getting them developed the right way. So yeah, that's definitely a valid point that you made with how the talent is spread out. If you do get a group of shorties at a young age and get them developed the right way, you can have 10 good, talented, athletes. So
yeah,
definitely, that's
yeah.
definitely a good point.
Yeah.
Another point I wanted to make before we end it there. You look at the makeup of the state. Omaha, Nebraska is the biggest city in the state. And we don't have one JUCO. So that tells you
Mm.
right there that we don't have a junior college here for our kids. So they basically are counting us out. You know what I mean? I have a son that's played, ball here,
Yep.
got a state championship, then went to numerous D1 schools to play football, South Dakota State, Troy, Utah State, and Kansas.
Yep. Yep.
Not spoken of. Noah Fant, close to myself. He's in the NFL. Not spoken of. And I can go on and on and on about athletes that came out of this city that's not spoken of. They're doing that for a reason because they want to give our kids no hope. If they know nobody made it, they're gonna think that they'll never make it. But if they hear success stories like my son, your son, and other kids that made it through this city, Sharif, uh, Alvin's son, we can go on and on and on, but they're not spoken of just because they
So
want
how do we speak of them on the platform to reach the multitude of people?
to.
Because that's the whole point of this podcast. Because if we're not linked in with these platforms that all these people go to, right? There's so many platforms out there that they go to for the highlights because they got a platform. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So how do we reach them? How do we reach that population? Is it a word
Well,
of
we
mouth
just
thing?
talked about the empowerment network and how the whole youth sports is just completely left off. That's a piece that's missing, as well. So we have to get into those rooms with those types of people and have these conversations about youth sports and what's happening, because it's almost like a respect factor. Like sports is looked at in our community as like not a way of life, no future, like
Mm,
it's a dead end almost. So there, it's not even respected enough to be included in that article.
mm. Because it's not education driven. It's not education driven.
Mhm.
Because the grant the funders of grants, they love the education piece. They throw money if you add education to it. So that goes back to they don't realize or they can't relate to the environment of which they're giving the money to. So they just have their criteria of what you got to meet, like expectations. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be, So I think that piece is missing. You know what I'm saying? That's why people that's giving up the money, they're not dealing with people on the front line like we are. We on the front line. So we gotta create that business collaboration with the Empowerment Network because we are on the front line. We the ones that can give you more accurate data. And in return, hopefully you can provide and be a solution, and provide resources. I think that's how you kind of build something is like you said, Keish, we control our own lane. So if they link to the resources, because we're not supposed to change who we are or our vision or our angle, what we're trying to do, because we're on the front line. You're not about to tell the military soldiers once they in battle to change how they train to survive and protect our country. They on the front line. We on the front line. So you gotta support us. You gotta provide the ammo. You gotta provide the ammo. And I feel like there's many of us, right? And it may just take for us to have a sit down, you know, of some sort. Even through this stream, I can get up to 10 folks on here, and you just brainstorming. And that's kind of where it started at, you know what I mean? And we just let the people hear how it developed, you know, because it's not, I think that a lot of people come with a selfish mentality, and our shorties is at stake when it comes to their time. Because like I said, their window ain't high, and I just don't feel like I feel like it's a time that we can kind of capture right now with this NIL, because the way that you go after certain funding and dollars, like it's always been a stigma on that as it relates to inner city organizations and black businesses and so forth. There's always been a stigma, and it slows the pace. Like for example, I talked about it. There's supposed to be almost $500 million that's supposed to hit the grounds of businesses in North Omaha. That's a whole lot of money, man. That's a whole lot of money for what we're talking about to not come to fruition somehow. It's a whole lot of money. So at some point in time, these businesses that's granted that money, they should want to sit at the table with one of us, because at the end of the day, the money is supposed to support their program or business or whatever it is that's going to revitalize the community. And part of that is people that's coming through the doors, and it's going to be these shorties. If you don't have nothing that's going to serve the people, that's going to bring change, then your program, then what you apply for your grant, whatever your business you got, you're thinking about means nothing. So you need us just as much as we need you, because we're getting their attention when they really need leadership. When they come to practice at 5, 6 o'clock, they can't wait to get out of school. They can't wait to get out of school. You know what I'm saying? So we get them at their capacity of when they kind of pay attention. So now we just formulate ideas. Hey man, I'm walking my show again. We formulate ideas.
And those are things that we
you know?
those are things that coaches just do. But now we need to start recording that, like proving those outcomes and shoving it into their faces, like what's actually happening. Because a lot of times we're just saying it and we're just talking about it, and we know what's going on behind closed doors, and you know the impact that you've made on these kids. But now we need to start recording it so that we have it as proof. You know, a lot of these organizations, they need to hire maybe somebody or somebody volunteer to help support in that way. So Brandon, if you had someone as a volunteer that would help in that way, like that could go a long way as well. Like they would just keep track of some of the things that are taking place at practices. Like that's how far like we have to go. Like we have to keep track of the mentorships and the things that you do on a daily basis you're not even thinking about, and start recording those things. That's how we're going to get more support, and that's how we're going to get like funding. When we walk into these rooms, we're going to be like, hey, these are the things that we're doing. We're developing these kids just as much as in the classroom.
Yeah. Might have to run with that one. So definitely that one, yeah.
We're bringing that heat, man. We bringing that heat. I mean, because that's what it's about. But we want to bring real solutions, man. We got Brandon McGary right here, you know, coach. Is TSA, is that your organization?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Been down there for probably about 8 months. Right now we have 8 teams, 2 national teams. We're growing by the day.
How can people sign up?
They sign up. They can go to the Salvation Army website. They can hit me up on Facebook. I'm usually pretty much open at any time of the day. Fees is not that high. We probably got the lowest fees in the city, and we probably doing more than any program in the city with the low cost. Appreciate every time everybody goes out of town, they turn around and they see TSA. So we're out here. We're available for all the underprivileged kids and parents that don't have the money to give out to these programs that are asking for large funds. We can get it done for you at a small amount and give you the same experience, exposure,
Mhm.
development,
Mhm.
training, whatever you need. Not saying that we're the cream of the crop, but we're an option. So come check us out. If you're not happy where you at, you won't be sorry. So
Yeah, go check him out. Like he just said, he got numerous programs and organization, numerous programs, and teams, for boys and girls, right? It's a
yes.
boys and girls. And so it is like I said, man, there's over 13,000 shorties, man, that's in and I know the statistics, it may be more now, and I'm just gonna say it, like just the 13,000 that's getting free or reduced lunch. So if I could put the correct stigma on that one, they're talking about majority is minority kids. And a lot of those minority kids, they are playing and trying to play in some of these youth organizations, trying to fulfill their dreams and goals. But
Mm-hmm.
it's always a foundation level all this. These are the same kids that support the systematic numbers when it comes to poverty. So when you see information on TV and the newspaper about poverty and all of this, it ain't about having sympathy for the shorties in the youth in the North Omaha or in the inner city. It's not sympathy. It's about empathy. It's really about what we're talking about. How can you put yourself in our shoes and really provide the resources that you may have access to? You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't have to take for us to and I can attest to this because I had a youth program before where I had numerous of teams and I played in those same tournaments, and it's a certain type of brand of basketball that you bring out there, and that brand of basketball you want to duplicate the college game and the pro game at the younger level. What you see at the pro level, from the speed of it, from the impact, from the skill, you try to bring it down to a youth level so that these shorties can get prepared as they go up levels. And when you have a whole team like that, and you go up against another team in a culture or brand of basketball that's not used to that, you become intimidating. And then them programs and organizations, they don't want you out there. And then they start treating you like an outcast. And then now they're putting Jasmine on you, which is unfair to the shorties. And so we just kind of tired of that. And we don't have to, the shorties don't have to deal with that. So if we can find opportunities in space where we can create their own opportunities, leagues and tournaments, then it'll do a good service, to our young people, man. So I love what you're talking about, man. I feel like we gotta double back on this. I
Mm-hmm.
do want to talk about some of the questions and answers that I had from some of our listeners. You know what I mean? Jermaine Ballard, JB, what's up, man? He kind of talked about, he talked about his education. They can't preach student athlete and not include education in sports, because I think that nowadays, and I can chime on this too. Nowadays it's not about you saying you got to be a student to be an athlete. Like, they so brainwashed that say student athlete first. Like, well, they changed the rules now as far as being qualified for college. You don't have to take an ACT test. It's optional. So there's so much that has changed to where, of course, we know that education is important. It's a prerequisite to qualify to play in middle school and high school or whatnot. But it's okay to say, you know what, if you want to the league, I'm gonna pour all my eggs in one basket. Let's go. We so stuck with having to plan A and plan B. That's another topic. But I'm not one of those guys, man. Hey, it's plan A. It's plan A. When if B comes, we'll approach that when it comes. It's plan A. We going to the league. We going to the league. You know what I'm saying? What y'all got to say about that?
Yeah, but it's only on the sport. It's only on the sports that we dominate in. You know what I mean? That golf, that tennis. Oh, you can go pro when you're 12 years old. But basketball, football, you gotta wait till you down here grown up. But you can go over in the service and serve the military when you're 18 and lose your life. But you can't get a
Exactly.
million just because you black and play
Right.
football or basketball. But if you play that baseball or that hockey or that tennis or that golf,
Exactly.
you can hit that thing when you're 13, 14. So
Come on, man.
it's
Come
definitely so
on,
many
man.
issues, man, that we're not really catching on
Yeah.
to. But
Look,
we
that's
gotta
why
be
I'm so
smart.
geeked.
We
That's
gotta be
why I'm
smart.
geeked about the NIL. That's why I'm geeked about the NIL, man. Because
Mhm.
I done seen a 13 and 14-year-old out of Omaha that was nice, where you can look at him and say he gonna be something about time he.
Yeah.
So we can pour resources into whatever it is. We can do that because it's lawful. It's lawful now. We don't have We don't have no barriers getting in the way. Because we gotta represent our shorties because the schools can't do nothing with them. They don't want us to because we the best negotiators for our shorties. We know how to communicate, right? We people's people. Now we can communicate and negotiate contracts. You know what I mean? We can do that. So it's an education with that itself. And I feel like we can't miss out on that opportunity, man. So I'm a sum this up, B, man. I want you to give your last points, whatever you want to say to the people before we get off here, man. And we're gonna send you off here.
The only thing I gotta say is I just witnessed a lot of division this season. I've been away for the game for about 10 years. I just jumped back in. You know what I mean? I helped Alvin out at TNE last year, and then I got the opportunity to run my own program within a couple months after that. So I'm grateful to God for that one. But I just seen a lot of division with everybody at these games. And instead of just being divided and putting our own kids against one another, we need to find a way to get back to loving each other. That's the only thing that I really have a problem with, and I want to address that with everybody. We get to these games and we take it too personal, to where we got animosity with one another. Coaches got animosity with one another, to where we got to put our hands on each other, and it's not that deep. You know what I mean? We got to be role models to these kids. Coaches got to be role models to these kids and give them a good example, because they're only living on how we interact with each other. And we definitely got to fix that. These kids, they think they're too grown nowadays because they don't have the direct guidance, and they're learning to live life on their own. So if we can clean that up, be more unified as a people, especially when it comes to these youth sports, so our shorties won't get taken advantage of, we'll be better off. But that's all I really gotta say, right now about the current state of basketball. I hope we can get it together and get this thing going in the right direction. Because like Keshia, you got your son, he's very talented. There's other talented kids out here that need that third, the game given to them the right way. You know what I mean? Right now, I just think that they're not getting 100% from anybody in the youth sport. So appreciate you guys having me on here. You know what I mean? You guys welcome me back. I'm ready. So that's pretty much it, man. Lamar, congratulations on your boy, man. Hope he do his thing. I know he got one more season to go, but can't wait to see him out there. Keisha, I know you got one more year. I can't wait to see your boy in high school. He's a hell of a kid. Got great talent. Hey, my kids are graduating, so I get to sit back and I get to sit back and watch, be a spectator.
Right. Well, yeah, man. Hey, thank you for coming on the show, man. We're gonna definitely keep following you. Definitely gonna have you come back on too, man. And you know how I like to do things, man. I'm always with the coming together for a common good, at the end of the day. And it's not about just talking about it, it's about being about it. And then we can kind of push the gas on that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what type of outcomes can come out of it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna follow up with you. Mm-hmm. We're gonna break bread for sure. Mm-hmm. Everybody, we got Brandon McGary here, TSA United. As he said, y'all can find him on Facebook. You can check him out. Let's pour some resources into him, y'all. So let's send you off, man. Thank you for coming on the show, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, right, Brandon.
Yep. Talk to you
later. Jeez, man, that was what's up. You know what I'm saying?
That was a lot.
Hey, we went over. I know. I apologize. Because I know. You on the time, and then. But I feel like it was some good heat out there. Is there anything else you want to say before I let you go?
That was great conversation. I think what Brandon said was 100% true. There's a lot of pride and ego here. And honestly, none of us have room to feel that way. Because right now, there's still, we have a lot of a wave here in Nebraska, but there's still a lot more to do. And we got to come together. There's no room for us to be rivals in our own city. There's just no room for it. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No doubt. And we're going to do that. We're going to all do that as people. like I said, I think we got a lot of people that's doing things for a good common good, and it's really just coming together to bring like minds together. You know what I'm saying? So, this is my co-host right here, Keshia. We gonna bring her back on next Sunday. We gonna bring new heat to y'all. So I'm gonna send her off before I get to the last closing points here. So, all right, Keisha, appreciate you. Check you next time. You know it. I think she went off there, but yeah, but hey, uh, dope show. We had a good show, man. We got some good points out there, and I just want to say, man, there's no knock to any program out there. If we bring something to light, we want to come at it at a loving light, man. We want to bring solutions because again, we got for real people out here on the front lines, man. We on the front lines, and we have more of an understanding, understanding on the population that you're dealing with. So if you're trying to bring transformation and revitalization, you got to know what you're bringing, how it's going to serve the people, because it's the people that's going to bring the attention to whatever business and plans that you have. You know what I'm saying? And so you should want to get something, from the people that's uh that's on the front lines. You know what I mean? So as I close the show, like I said, man, we're gonna get back to the branding and marketing. Um, Branding and marketing, like I said, we always want to be able to um, promote products or services that our shorties have out there. And right now I got on that Z3. That's the Sunny Sun brand. I want to make sure that I show the people what that look like. Um, I hope y'all can see this, but this is what it looked like right here. Z3. That Sun logo. That's his brand. We want to be able to support that. Man, support that, man. You can DM me on how to get that right here. Courtyard, and shout out to my boy Brad. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's where we'll be having the shirts at. We're gonna order off of there. We'll get the red joints and the right joints and the black joints, man. As time comes when we go on to college, you know what I mean? So we'll have the color coded t-shirt. But that's what it looked like. Z3. Z3. Holler at your boy about that, man. We're gonna get a t-shirt to you, make a, support him, cop that. If you got a product or service, you're shorty in high school and you on that train, we'll promote it. We'll put it on the show. LLC it. You got a product, you gotta give them an LLC. You gotta teach them about business right now. Right now. Because if your shorty paying out to where he's marketable, you'll already be set. You already be set. So that's kind of the goal. So that's the brand Z3. DM me if you want a shirt, $20, and we'll get you right. We'll get you right. We'll get you right. Next time on the next show, we're gonna talk about NIL, news, trends, what I'm saying, what's going on. We're gonna bring that fire about NIL, man, because I ain't playing. It's a whole package, and I gotta unfold when it comes to NIL. So we're gonna talk about NIL opportunities. We're gonna talk about the news and what's going on with NIL. I want to talk about my son Elijah. Lie don't miss. If you want to get your shorty a creative video, if you want a highlight video, man, hit up son. He creating videos right now at Lie Don't Miss. Go check him out on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? DM him and he'll get you right. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you got to be able to go get them likes and them followers. So if your kid is balling out there and you put together a nice highlight, you document it, you put it on a social media platform, it's going to build up their network. And if you build up the network, you're building up your net worth. Net worth. You see how I go hand in hand? And it's more, they more important and complementary to each other now than ever. If you build up your network, you're going to build up your network. So go support Sonny Son at Light on This for creative video. You can pull up on your youth organization. You can pull up on your team at games, put a video together. You can do one-on-one videos. You can do whatever you want to do. Go holler at my son. He'll put it together. We on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. For y'all that's on here to check this out today, man, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We want to keep this thing pumping. We're gonna bring some heat every single Sunday night at 7. We went over an hour today. That's good. That's good. And then last, we want to show support, man. I'm trying to get the upgraded package, man. We trying to go get other cameras and everything. We trying to get in the office building where we got a live show like they do at the news station. And then we got anchors like my son with the camera. He can report live while I'm having a show. Like I'm performing a newscast show. Man, but we need y'all bread, man. We need some of that money so we can go get the equipment, man, so we can evolve. So hit the Cash App right there, Universe Deal right there, man. Send a little note or something what it's for. Neighborhood Athletes Collective Group. That's a collective group, man, made for the shorties, made for y'all. So with the money that we was talking about when our guest was on, we want to put hundreds of $1,000s in the collective group so that if these programs is lacking some bread and they trying to go to Dallas or Chicago or Florida and they just need a couple thousand because we don't want 5 shorties in one hotel room, or we not trying to put 10 athletes on a 15-passenger turtle van. Motherfuckers is 6'6" in the back seat, knees is hurting, they driving 6 hours. We can't have our shorties like that nowadays. Not these days. Mubs is getting charter buses. Mubs is catching flights. We can do that now. We can provide those opportunities for our shorties. So let's look into that Neighborhood Athletes Collective group. Like I said, I'm building up the followers and the viewers. I don't know when I'm gonna drop the plan. It's gonna be on one of these episodes, but I want to see where I'm at with the numbers. But I'm rolling out the plan to y'all. I want y'all to check it out, see what y'all think, and then we can pour into that. And then we're gonna see what's cracking. So Neighborhood Athletes Collective Group. Again, support the program and support the podcast. There's the Cash App right there. You know what I mean? We had a good show. Neighborhood Athletes on your highlight podcast. Check us out every Sunday night, 7 o'clock. Man, be here, man. We had a good show today. So I'm gonna send y'all off, with my boy song, man, and we gonna do it that way. Check y'all later. Peace.